Good morning. How's everyone doing this gorgeous Saturday? Finally, we got away from some of that rain that's been causing a lot of issues for some homeowners. You have some homeowners who are having some leaking into their. Don't mind Huey. He's accompanying me for this one on this side. Um, but we have some homeowners who are having issues with their basements, having some homeowners like myself where their lawn is having a little bit of a fungus issue all across New England because of just how much moisture is being stuck in that lawn. So, here we are today enjoying some weather, and I wanted to take some time and spend some time with you guys and answer any questions that you might have regarding the real estate market right now. We're trying a new setup here, so we're streaming on both Facebook and YouTube right now. Hopefully in the future, we could also stream to Instagram live. So we'll see how that shakes out. As always, feel free to follow me on Instagram. You're going to see that pop up on the screen right here, AR_Brown_Realtor. You'll see a lot of posts, a lot of times just giving you updates on, when to sell for sale by owner and when not to. At the end of the month, we always show a little kind of market update for a couple of different areas, including Boston, Melrose. Actually, I try to do it Middlesex County and Essex County on a county level. And if you want anything more specific, I could get that information up for you. But to start, let's see if we could go ahead and talk a little bit about what the market's doing right now. So something that's been interesting is the market has slowed down just a little bit. I think average days to offer was in the realm of, call it, 6 days or so. And you're seeing that start to extend a little bit. You're seeing some houses make it into the second weekend, sometimes even a third weekend, which really signifies that the buyer pool is slowing down just a little bit, which is a good thing. It means that there's more opportunities for people not to kind of go in so skinny, closing as soon as possible, putting as much as they can down. Just those typical things that we've been having this last couple months, I'd say even over a year. You're starting to see people bring back in contingencies. So you have home inspection contingencies. We have, even more specific contingencies regarding radon if there's a finished basement. People are more able to do a better job with your due diligence before going into the home. And I don't think that's I won't call it a holistic statement. I don't think that's going to be fully accurate across the board. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis. But it's definitely important to consider that with your real estate agent to see what they gauge on this property. I mean, if it's the perfect property in the best neighborhood and it's reasonably priced, maybe that's not the instance where you're going to want to take advantage of this. But if it's, the best neighborhood, but it's a property that maybe needs just a little bit of love and has a little bit of character, there might be some opportunities with stuff like that. The Boston market is coming back. You're starting to see condo sales have a little bit of an uptick, which is good. Before people were just kind of running away from Boston, thinking it's not going to be the place for them. If you could work from home, why you're going to be in the city paying top dollar? But I think there's some opportunities now with such a heavy inventory on the condos in Boston for there to be some deals to be had, which is always a good thing. So that's just kind of very general overview of the market right now. There's still investors out there looking for flips, those people that are coming into homes that definitely need a lot more work, that probably won't get by with your standard loan. So they're coming in with some hard money loan or their own capital, and they're flipping them and then selling them as, call it quote unquote new construction resale. So those are slim. There's still a few, but there's definitely not enough inventory for there to be a consistent volume of those newer properties that have been renovated. And the cost still has been pretty high. For them to acquire a property like that, they're still paying pretty top dollar. It's not comparable where they were getting amazing steals years ago. So that's just market overview. And I kind of want to open it up to any questions if anyone has any. Um, it doesn't appear that anyone does right now. Um, but I want to talk about something else regarding people who may be in their homes but don't want to move. And they're kind of seeing this market go right by them. And, there's sometimes a little bit of reluctance where you've lived in this home a long time, and why are you going to sell it to then not be able to buy something else? There's this concept that I've been exploring with a couple of our partners that we work with, and that's the concept of taking out a home equity line of credit or doing a cash out refinance. And the goal for this concept is to take advantage of how hot the market has been and how we're almost at the peak of, I say that now, probably won't be accurate, but we're getting towards the peak of what homes are selling for. So what we can do on the flip side is actually try to take that appreciation that is real right now and take a loan out, against that. So maybe a year ago, your home was 2 years ago at this point, your home was worth 600,000. Right now in this booming market, you could probably get away with 725 in terms of evaluation. Guess what? You take out $125,000 if you need to, and you can put that and invest it back into the property. So sure, it's your home that you want to stay in and you want to make the most out of it. But the kitchen needs to be updated. The driveway needs to be seal coated. The roof starting to have a ton of moss on it, and you want to get that taken care of. Those are all things that you could attribute those funds for. And what that does in the long term, as long as you're using it for very smart and specific portions of your house, that ensures that when you do go to sell, you're not in a situation where it's a hot, medium, non-seller's market, and you're having to sell like the not nicest house, maybe in the best neighborhood, because that's when people want deals. And what you want to do is make sure you're extracting the most juice out of this appreciating asset. So that's something that I've been, floating by people. It's going to be very different in terms of what terms you're getting. If the terms don't make sense, it doesn't really make sense to go forward with it. But ideally, you want to kind of watch your monthly payment to make sure that stays relatively close to what you're paying now. And essentially, you're just extending out the mortgage for longer to take out that equity. You just want to make sure it typically is going to have higher financing APRs compared to purchasing a home, because there is a little bit of risk to taking out a second loan and extending the time period. And then also if your situation is a little bit different than when you first bought the house, because when you first bought the house, you were very careful, you were purposeful in what you were doing, but maybe now, you're living as you are. You maybe have some credit card debt because, as soon as COVID ended, you wanted to go on a few trips, and that's all normal stuff. But it's something to consider now as the market is kind of hitting the pinnacle of how you want to approach that, especially if you're looking for a new kitchen, a new bathroom. You want to do some painting to the exterior. Like, these are all very expensive costs to maintaining a home that if you weren't prepared for it, why not take advantage of this route now to potentially cover it? So that's kind of my 2 cents. That's kind of where I've been focusing a lot of my efforts, is working with homeowners to figure out what strategies they can take now to make the most out of their asset, their primary home. Some people are even taking out home equity lines of credits to purchase second homes, because as you may know, people have been working remotely. So even through the week, people are in the Cape, they're in New Hampshire, in the Lakes region, they're in Maine. They're traveling all over to work remotely. And, where we are in this world now, that's going to be possibly a new normal. I don't anticipate 100% of all companies going back to the office, especially since, it's not really cost effective, right? You're going to have all these additional costs and measures that you need to put into place to keep your employees safe, and also just get the office back up and running. It's almost like a new set of startup costs. So I don't anticipate that happening immediately. I think there's still going to be a decent amount of time before that kind of gets right sized. So a lot of people are looking into the secondary home market, where they can Airbnb their property, VRBO it, and just take out another mortgage, but using the home equity line of credit to get them either a very small mortgage on that property or no mortgage at all if they're able to, purchase like a, lakeside condo with $125,000 or something like that. So those are things that you always have to keep thinking about. What I always worry for homeowners is when you purchase a home and maybe that was really close to your max. You're not really saving a ton for maintenance and capital expenses to keep the house for house upkeep. You're not really spending a ton of money on lawn care. You're not really spending a ton of money on like exterminators. You're not spending money on service contracts with, to maintain your heating and cooling systems. So all those things start to break down, and it just becomes a cost suck because you're going to be patching holes with what you have at that moment. And long term, the home starts to lose value. Any chance you had of appreciation kind of evaporates. And my goal as a real estate consultant is make sure people are always thinking about that to make sure long term they're going to come out on top. There's plenty of people right now who are selling homes that really aren't, they're not the nicest homes to go into, but that's all that's available, and they are very lucky that they're able to get away with making a decent profit on that. But that is not the norm, and people shouldn't get comfortable with that. There's people getting lucky today for sure, getting $60,000 above ask with a home that really should not be getting that. But this is just market dynamics, supply and demand, and they're taking advantage of an opportunity. But my hope is that that family that moves in, unfortunately, does not have to have all these expenditures to keep up with the house. Things start breaking, things start failing. That's never the goal. It never feels good as a real estate agent, and that doesn't work with a reputation. If your clients are coming back to you at a later date saying, "Hey, everything broke, everything's destroyed," so just things to keep in mind. And this is something that we're going to hope to do a lot more often. Little spoiler alert: we're going to be having Real Mondays, getting real with real estate, starting every Monday coming up on. We got July 26th, and we'll do that every Monday thereafter. It's gonna be like a 15-minute segment with some time for Q&A, and it's going to go over the hot topics in real estate. For example, Dua Lipa going to Cancun and renting out this amazing Airbnb that was like this very green, well manicured oasis where you have little hangout spaces kind of carved into the earth. And it was super cool. And I think everyone's really going to be paying attention to that Airbnb now. And that Airbnb owner is going to make a killing because everyone is going to follow behind Dua Lipa's lead on that one because it was a really gorgeous space. And we're going to talk about things like FHA modifying how they're calculating for borrowers' debt to income ratio, calculating that piece for their student loans. I think previously it was essentially got cut in half, but I want to say they counted 20% of your monthly payment into your debt to income ratio or something like that. But we go over all those details and more. And if anyone has any questions, we can answer them at that time. But this is the goal. I want to be available to you guys, trying to get you where you are. So if you're on Facebook, you see this on Facebook Live. If you are on YouTube, you catch it on YouTube. And then hopefully we get set up with Instagram. So we have a full gamut of how you can reach me. And I made sure that I'm available to use as regularly as possible. There is no such thing as a tough question. I could always get back to you. And, answer anything that's very specific after confirm with my partners, because I have attorneys, general contractors, home inspectors, all on the line, ready to service you guys as you need it. So with that, I will end this one for here. But also, if you guys want to reach out to me and schedule an appointment, right down on the screen, just email me, andrew@andrewbrown.realtor. I'll be more than happy to reach out and get in touch with you guys and answer any questions that you might have privately. So with that, I hope everyone has a great day. Enjoy the weather. The beaches are open, and just make the most of it. We just came out of the rainy season, so take advantage of it. And take care and have a great day.